We have had multiple pickets at various Smiling Goat locations, and we're making progress. Some people were paid the wages that they are owed, and our boss claims that he has set up health insurance plan and direct deposit for April 19th. But we're not holding our breath waiting on those promises. We've heard them before. Direct deposit will be set up by the end of the month since December, and health insurance cards are in the mail since December as well. He duped us into believing he bought us a health insurance plan by taking long-term disability premiums off our paychecks. 2 weeks ago, we also announced the vote that for the non-union coworkers to unite under one union with us. And we've made some progress, but we've also taken a huge step backwards. Keith Carding, a vocal union supporter, was fired over Easter weekend.
Shame.
And to be clear, firing a worker for supporting the union is a violation of the labor law. We rallied and held a press conference this past Wednesday to inform the public that we will not let this slide. We stand with Keith. An injury to one is an injury to all. Yes. And today, my coworkers are here to file a labor standards complaint of wage theft. We are waiting for the ballots to be counted, but the workers aren't going to sit on their hands waiting for the labor board to count the votes. They're taking action today.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, and thank you for coming out today and supporting the Smiling Goat workers. Again, we are here to support and let their employer know, Kit Singh, that we will not tolerate his reprehensible and deplorable behavior.
That's right.
And we will not stop until all the wrongs he has committed against the workers are made right.
Woo!
The Smiling Goat folks, as well as other 5 locations across the HRM, have gone months without being able to receive consistent wages. Others have been fired for no just cause, and some are being forced to actually pay for health benefits that they are not receiving. They have been forced to endure agonizing stress, not knowing what will happen from paycheck to paycheck, and having to guess what unfair act their employer will commit next. Workers should not have to be out on the streets to try to push and rally and fight any employer just to do the right thing. This employer should know the basics. We've had enough of his excuses already. It's pretty simple. You hire employees, they do all the work, and all you need to do is just pay them. It's not rocket science. It's a matter of basic dignity and respect. But instead, this employer is taking a different route. He's choosing to simply ignore the collective agreement at all the unionized sites. He is choosing when and who to pay, depending on what most convenient for him. Enough is enough. This man simply has no business employing people. SEIU and the Nova Scotia Federation of Labor have called the government to make changes to labor laws. We will be doing more in the coming weeks to promote positive and proactive changes to help ensure employers like this do not get away with treating workers this way. We will always stand up and fight irresponsible employers like Kit Singh.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's really cold. Today we stand here to fight for change and to show solidarity and respect for these workers and fight for justice. But let this also be noticed to Kit Singh and to all employers in this industry who treat their employees like disposable products rather than valued human beings. We are here and we are not going away.
Yeah.
We will fight back. Let's work together towards ensuring this kind of injustice does not happen again. Solidarity. What is it?
An injury to one is an injury to all.
An injury to one
Is an injury to all.
An injury to one is an injury to all.
Let's do another one. Don't be such a jerk. Pay your workers for their work. Don't be such a jerk. Pay your workers for their work. Don't be such a jerk. Pay your workers for their work. Don't be such a jerk. Pay your workers for their work. Next up, we're going to have Gary Burrill, the leader of the NDP for Nova Scotia, speaking.
Well, I think that Jackie Swaine, the president for the Service Employees International Union for Local 2, has just provided a wonderful lesson in economics. I think we should get her sent up to teach this at the Shannon School of Business. That the business comes down to a pretty simple formula. I'm going to take notes on this and hand it out to some other people I know. You hire the workers. The workers do everything. And all you got to do is pay them. Pretty good for you. Look, you know, we all know that in our economy, in our economic system, there are a lot of things that aren't great. But there are some things that, in addition to being not great, that are just an outrage. So we know it's not great that so many people's wages fall so short of a living wage. We know a living wage is around $19 an hour in Halifax. We know it's not great that wages are short of that. But that people should actually work and have their paychecks bounce, that's in another whole category. That's a capital O outrage. And we know that in the way our economy works, there are an awful lot of things that are reserved to be the prerogative of management. Well, and a lot of times that's not that great. But we also know that when a person actually loses their whole living, their job, because they have been involved in setting up and organizing a trade union in the workplace, that's on another whole order. That's not just not great, that's an outrage. And we know that there are all kinds of inequalities in our economic system, that some people don't work very little, have a terrific pile of money, other people work very, very hard, don't get very much. We know that that's not great. But when people do the work and their income and their wages are by their employer stolen, that's on another whole order of magnitude. That's an outrage. So there are a lot of people, when they hear about what's taking place in the Smiling Goat, around the city and around the province, who share this sense of, oh my heavens, how can that possibly happen? What a terrible outrage that is. And that's certainly the feeling in the New Democratic Party. Our Labour critic, whose name is Tammy Martin, represents Cape Breton Centre, New Waterford. She's going to be speaking around 10:15 this morning in the legislature and pressing the Minister of Labour and saying, look, you are aware, because we've told you about it, these people have had their wages taken away from them by the employer. This is wage theft. What are you going to do about it? You're the government of Nova Scotia. She's going to press him about this morning. Get the matter on the screen, because we all understand what a terrible outrage this is. So I just want to say how much the whole progressive community of Nova Scotia admires the struggle of baristas at the Smiling Goat not to take this lying down, the solidarity that's being expressed through the SEIU here, and this is certainly the view that I want to express on behalf of the New Democratic Party. Solidarity, everybody.
Woo! Yeah. All right, next we're going to hear from 5 workers who are owed wages, who are taking these complaints to the labor standards, Nova Scotia labor standards, just around the corner from here, right after we hear from them. So I'm going to invite workers up to just explain what they're doing and why we're doing it. So, you want to come up? You guys want to all come together? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Sophie. Currently still employed at Smiling Goat. I put in my 2 weeks, so I'm soon finished working there, but I'm currently owed $400. Shame! 4 weeks ago, I had my check bounce for the first time, and after a week, I was paid. But as soon as I put in my 2 weeks notice, he has since ignored my emails to get this second paycheck. So it's a tough situation.
Shame.
Hello, my name is Keith. On April 1st, I confronted our boss about not getting paid. In a meeting later that day, he told me he would pay me that night, but also that he would dismiss me without giving a reason, saying he would make up a reason later. The reason he came up with was corporate restructuring. They were getting rid of my position. But from the context surrounding the incident, it's clear that I was fired for participating in union activity, for picketing his business, and for demanding my pay.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He perceived me as one of the ringleaders and threatened my employment and other people's employment who he perceived as the leaders of the movement, and has illegally terminated me. This man needs to be held accountable for his actions, and his future employees need to be protected from him. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely.
I'm Rachel. I'm owed $600 for my last 2 paychecks. I quit last week, haven't seen a single pay stub, and I'm missing 2 paychecks.
Yay!
My name is Casey, and I'm currently owed $400 from my last pay that I never received. I never even got a paycheck. He transferred the employees that he wanted to pay and just completely ignored the ones that he didn't deem necessary. I've had to fight for my last 3 paychecks because every time they bounce, I have to chase them down for an e-transfer. And I've been nothing but respectful. My letter of resignation was completely formal, like proper, and I just never got a response. And same thing with my calls and my texts, we just never hear back, none of us. And it's not like we're rude either, like very respectful all the time, and there's just no regard.
Shame.
Hi, my name's Kateri. I quit about a week and a half ago because I didn't want to work for free. I'm owed for 4 weeks of wages, which is about an estimated $1,600 to $1,700. It's a lot. He hasn't responded to anything, hasn't responded to any of my texts or emails, isn't answering phone calls, and has even told my friend who worked here that I was paid in full and lied to her when I have all the evidence to suggest that I have not gotten any of that money. So it's poopy. But we, like Casey said, we've been trying to be dignified. We've been protesting, putting on public pressure, trying to contact him, and nothing seems to be appealing to his inner scruples. So that being said, the law will fix that for us. So that's why we're going out today to get this dealt with.
And not only are these 5 workers filing complaints, there are many other workers that couldn't be here today that have filed complaints yesterday and are filing complaints starting next week as well. And we encourage anyone who's ever worked for Kit Singh, past and present, to, if they're owed money, to do the same. It is not okay to just walk away and let him get away with stealing your wages. So everybody who's ever worked for him, come forward, take it to the labor standards, and get your money, and don't let him get away with wage theft. All right? Yeah. Don't be such a jerk! Pay your workers for their work! Don't be such a jerk! Pay your workers for their work! Don't be such a jerk! Pay your workers for their work! Don't be such a jerk! Pay your workers for their work! Don't be such a jerk! Pay your workers for their work! Don't be such a jerk! Pay your workers for their work! Woo! All right, so we're gonna walk up to the labor standards now and get these processes started. So thanks everyone for being here, supporting these workers through this struggle. You know, it's easier when people are, you know, helping and supporting and coming out and caring. A lot of people don't have that, and they just walk away and lose lots of money in this industry. So yeah, we're gonna change that. All right, let's do this.
All right, labor. Sure. Great.